All right, welcome back everyone to another, of course, The Flash. We're going to be going over episode 5 and 6 this time, still in the new season, racing our way towards Crisis. All right, guys, it's really like 5 and 6, they've got some good stuff for Crisis for sure. They're good episodes, I like them. There's a little bit of campiness in there, but I mean we've seen that throughout the CW and the Flash. I've always loved their balance with the campy stuff and the heart to heart and the fun and all that stuff. That show's always done a good job at keeping the balance and not making it one way or the other. Although episode 6, License to Elongate, they just had a lot of fun, I think. And we'll get into that. First, we're going to race into episode 5. And I think that one's called like Kiss Kiss Breach or something like that, or Kiss Kiss Boom Breach, something like that. This episode really focuses on Cisco and kind of what Wells is doing. Those are kind of the two main story arcs that we kind of focus on in episode 5. Barry and Iris has gone on their honeymoon, and they left to go race around a bunch of beaches, around all over the globe. So must be nice to have a speedster. You can go to the Bahamas, Hawaii, the Caymans, all that, and well, as soon as the sentence is over, I guess. So pretty fun stuff. But we get to go and focus on Cisco. I absolutely love Cisco. I think he's one of the best characters in The Flash. He has a lot of the good comedic moments, and I've really liked his character development. I have not liked that he no longer has his powers. I totally understand the direction. I'm there. Come on, man. It was vibe. Like, he was so cool. And we really, I mean, with the other heroes, we don't really get to see their powers used all that often. Like, as soon as we started to get to see Vibe's abilities, like him using it day to day or in practical senses, like, we didn't really get to see that till, the last season, right before he took the cure. We get to see a lot of Killer Frost's powers. She's been around since season 2, though, so she's had a while to kind of come into her own and be able to use those on an established basis. I mean, even the Elongated Man, which I honestly also love him as a character. He's a great addition. I've loved that he stuck around for so long. I thought he was going to be out after season 4, so it's cool that he still plays a really crucial role, I think. He gives a good balance to Barry, and a good comic relief for the rest of the team, I think. So really interesting, but even so, like him, like we barely get to see him use his abilities, and it's usually only one thing stretching or the other. I know filming that is probably insanely difficult, so I'm not complaining. I'm just saying we could see a little bit more of their abilities and their powers. Again, they could all be saving all of that for Crisis, because that is, as of 5 and 6, just a few more episodes or story points away. So we could be seeing that soon. But Cisco, why does Cisco always have to go through the bad stuff? I mean, I can't believe they just killed Gypsy and let him deal with it, basically with his new girlfriend. We get to see Breacher back. That's, of course, Gypsy's dad. Awesome. He's just an awesome character. Awesome actor. Been around for a long, long time. Cool to see him grace the stage and get to have fun again. He, of course, doesn't have his abilities, so he needs Cisco's help to kind of find the killer. Spoiler alert, it's a doppelganger of Cisco. And so they kind of have to go around and figure that out. which isn't. I mean, it's important, and Cisco kind of learns that he needs to be a leader because he creates this thing called Barry, wow, BARI, Barry artificial replicative intelligence, and there's like a little animated like Barry like on the computer screen, and it's supposed to be like this computer algorithm that will spit out whatever Barry would say to do next. So if he runs into any problem, basically he gets to pass the buck back to Barry while he's off on vacation. He'll just utilize this artificial intelligence to tell him what to do. And of course, the whole episode and of course these past episodes and even the next one with Elongated Man is all preparing all of these guys for crisis in a future where Barry the Flash may not be with the team or a part of the team anymore. So his kind of journey is to realize that he needs to make the decisions and he needs to have a responsibility. It's not his job to do what Barry would do. It's his job to do what he's supposed to do. And he's capable of doing a lot more than he thinks he is. And that's been an underlying theme throughout the whole kind of episode. And even the next one is sticking true to your character and your true self and let that kind of being the guiding path, which is, that's awesome. I love when they kind of dive into good, strong themes like that to kind of portray and, and I think that's a really powerful, statement and a direction to take. And I think for these guys, they do it really well. And so it was cool to see that. We've got Ramsey, which he's just tearing things up in the background. Like everybody's so focused on Crisis. This guy is just doing what he needs to do, getting things done. He is super interesting. I think he's a really cool villain. He's cool. Like he is a fantastic actor, and he just owns that screen every time he's on it. And it's just really cool to see him back in a superhero type show. He was a part of Heroes, an old TV show for a long, long time. So it's cool that he gets the kind of, and I've said this before in past videos, so Ramsey's super cool, and he's basically giving everybody one final chance. You either join my side or I'm going to make you join my side. And we start to see that he is in full control of his ability. Whatever that is, mutating the blood of others and making them kind of zombie-like. But he is in full control of his abilities, and he is either on a join me or there's, you're going to join me. So we kind of start to see a build up to him. I think that between episodes 5 and 6, we really start to see he's done kind of playing around. He's not going to be offering any more deals. He knows he's a villain. They know he's a villain, and it's time for somebody to win and lose. So I really think we're going to start to see Ramsey becoming a big play in the next few episodes here, which is going to be big because I don't know. Can he use his abilities against metahumans? And if so, once they've been zombified or controlled, can they still use their abilities? And if so, that's going to make him a whole lot stronger and a lot more dangerous if he gets anybody on the Flash's team or any metahuman, especially if they can still use their abilities. So, I don't know. So that'll be cool to see. That'll be interesting to see. So that's basically episode 5. We get to see Joe West and wait for it, Harrison Wells. Joe apparently has been following around Joe West. He's been following himself. He just walks around in a circle and he's like, oh, hey, look, that's where I've been. No, that's stupid. He's been following Harrison Wells, He heard that there was a new Harrison Wells on Earth, and he wants to go see what he's about, make sure he's not, because we've seen a bunch of Wells in the past, some evil, some good, some with their own plot lines, or not plot lines, but their own stories, their own hidden agendas. So it's up. He feels like because of Crisis and everything else, it's Joe's opportunity to go and figure out what this Harrison Wells is doing. And we find out that Harrison Wells is trying to look for the Monitor. We've seen a little bit from the past few episodes that he's kind of found in an underground tunnel where the Monitor's been kept, or whether he's been hiding out. And so he's trying to get into that spot and defraud him. We find out a lot more in episode 6. I'm just going to dive into it because I'm already kind of here with it, and I'll go back to the other stuff is just kind of characters interacting with each other and them really like figuring out how to deal with Crisis. The Elongated Man, the episode 6 is just them pulling off a 45-minute James Bond movie. With all the kind of gags and jabs that you would expect. There's a big villain, a giant satellite, and we see Ultraviolet there, who's a metahuman, a lot like the girl who now works for The Citizen, the Iris West newspaper, to control like rays or things like that. Radio waves, any type of waves on the spectrum, I think is what it is. So we got that going for us. Not that all important. We know they win. They beat the bad guy. Barry and Elongated Man have a heart-to-heart. There you go. Back to Harrison Wells. Because we start to get a lot more evidence that the Monitor might not be who he says he is. He might wind up being the actual villain of Crisis. I think I might have thought about that in a previous review where I said I'm not too sure about the Monitor, especially when you're watching Arrow. He seems to be manipulating a lot of people, but we'll see. We have no idea at this point. All we know is that Harrison Wells believes, or Nash Wells as he calls himself, he can defraud the Monitor and prove to everyone that he's the villain and they can stop Crisis and Barry doesn't have to die. He basically has the solution to save Barry. And it was a very interesting connection that we've never really seen a Wells and Joe really connect and really have like an actual relationship. Ever since the first Wells, he's always kept them almost at arm's distance. Even with Earth 2 Wells, he did, he's been with him for a while. He did eventually grow on him, but even then, there wasn't. He hasn't really had a heart-to-heart like he did with Nash Wells. So I think we're going to see an interesting kind of switch in dynamics, and hopefully we see more of that relationship play out because it was really cool to see, and they have really good chemistry on screen, Nash Wells and Joe. But basically, they're in the tunnel, and Harrison Wells has figured out that Joe knows about the Monitor and has an idea of kind of what Nash is kind of looking for. So Nash is trying to get through this wall, and hopefully we can find out more of what's behind there and see if the Monitor really is a fraud and see kind of what's been all going on and the underlying truth to Crisis and everything that's coming to all of these characters. Super cool. Had a lot of good stuff. Like I said, I hope that some of the side characters, not side characters, but I hope more of the team gets to utilize their powers. Excuse me. Gets to utilize their powers and really show that on screen. Crisis is going to be huge. Hopefully they can deal with Ramsey beforehand. I don't know if he'll play a role after Crisis, because usually the main villain sticks around for basically the whole time. Maybe this is someone that they can defeat or solve before Crisis, or he'll play into Crisis. I don't really know. Excited to see The Flash is again always right on score. Good stuff. I can't wait for more episodes. I can't wait to get close to the Crisis. We're really close with the Flash, so I'm gonna probably switch gears and focus more on Arrow and get that all caught up. Because Arrow is turning out to be interesting as well. So hopefully I can get across to the other DC shows as well. My main focus is going to be Flash and Arrow leading up to Crisis, and maybe I'll dive into Batwoman or DC Legends, depending on how big of a role they start to seem to play into Crisis as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to do this again. All right, signing off.